Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 wrap up, effective communication for leadership. I have got notes, that's why I look down just to make sure I cover everything for you. Firstly, just quickly want to let you know that I have completed reading all the posts for the week 1 and I'm up to date with week 2. I did find some very interesting posts in week 1. Now, just to let you know, I haven't responded to all posts of everything I've read because I think I've realised, I've had this feedback from colleagues that they don't all have to be responded to, and I'm starting to realise that yes, between you're conversing. I mean, the collegial support that you provide each other on the online discussion is phenomenal. I just, think you're amazing. The discussion itself, very insightful, wonderful examples provided by many of you in terms of the questions that you were responding to on the online discussion board. Okay, let me just go back a little bit now and look at the content that we covered was about communication skills. What are they? When are they important? Where are they very important in terms of the workplace, the types of communication that we use in terms of the channels, the methods that we use, where now one, I know I'm flicking onto the poll, but one poll recipient was still confused about the difference between, I think it's structure, confused about in the interrelationship between leadership and communication. This is poll 1. It is really important to know that without communication, when we communicate, put it this way, we are representing who we are. And the ability to communicate effectively with those who follow us, whether they're team members, private, personal, social organisation, in any scenario, your communication is key to how you present yourself. And I think we all understand the importance of how a leader presents themselves. Okay, so I'll just leave that with you, and if anyone wants to ask any further questions, please do so on the online discussion or need help. Thank you. Okay, so the other aspect of the content was about effective communication. What is it? And how to improve our communication, I guess, the things to think about, to reflect upon, very important. And the cross-cultural aspect of communication. Now, I spent many years, over 20 years, working in the cross-cultural sector, and I think if any of you have read my bio, I have a Southern Italian, Calabrian background. That's both my parents. So English was my third language. Okay, so it was Calabrian, our dialect, Italian, and then English. The cross-cultural aspect was extremely well covered by many of you. I really enjoyed the examples of where you talked about working with various team members, colleagues, students of cross-cultural background. Now, I'm very aware and have been very aware for the many years that I've been teaching, especially online, that I have an audience of colleagues, and I call you colleagues, students, I guess, if you like, who have a cross-cultural background. And I have noted how they prefer to be communicated with. Sometimes I've even had to learn how to pick up when the language of a particular module is outside of the student's field. For example, you're a person from the Middle East, and you have come to Australia and you're engineering and you're specialising in engineering, okay, or you may come from China, whatever. English is not your first language, however, that's what you're studying. When we do a subject like leadership or public policy, for example, the language is very different. And I think you're all aware that within your own disciplines, you do have a specific disciplinary language, content, the way that you express yourself. And you take it for granted that everybody understands these terms because you're talking to other engineers or other people in the politics field or whatever. Okay, I'm going to leave that with you because I think that that's probably enough. I think the aspects that you've noted about learning about the cultures that you're communicating with, etc., are very important. In summary, I guess that's basically the other one was listening. Okay, yes, this is a live video. I have learned, if nothing else, that listening is probably the most important aspect of communication, and one that we are all still learning to do well. Hence why I posted some resources on deep listening. I'm still learning a lot, and I feel very humbled by what I'm learning. I think I'm a good communicator, but a good listener, but still learning. Okay. The other things that you talked about was communicating within your workplace relations, very important, and I think you did a good job. Whatever question you answered well. I guess the most difficult to assess would be the one-liner questions where someone's written 1 or 2 lines and they've expressed what they feel is important. That's absolutely fine. I'm comfortable with that. Examples are always great because they give me some insight into where this information came from, and I think it creates more online discussion, active online discussion. Okay, I think in a way that sort of covered the aspects of, awareness of communication and the self-awareness of communication and how you assess yourself. Of course, we looked at channels, processes, the impact of cultural differences, understanding the importance of effective communication. Now, all of these are leading to week 3, where we are going to look at interpersonal communication. And of course, there we start to look at body language, we look at facial expressions. I'll keep smiling. I'm playing, I know. I also, importance of how we understand ourselves, and that's where the emotional intelligence comes in, the self-awareness. And the interpersonal communication is where I believe the real depth of how we're communicating with someone. It's not just the words we talk, it's the feelings that we have, it's what we see in other people's eyes, it's what we see in other people's body language, or don't see in their eyes if they've got their heads down. Okay, I'm really looking forward to week 3. I really enjoy myself learning more about interpersonal communication, and hence really looking forward to more wonderful online discussion. Please continue with the posts. I think one student was a bit confused with the second poll on structured and unstructured communication. Whatever I've missed out that I know I want to make comment on, I will now put into my notes in the wrap-up post on announcement. Okay, so all the best to you. I wish you a very happy week. Stay safe. For all of you in Melbourne and Sydney, look after yourselves. We're all thinking about you. I'm in Western Australia, so as I've said, take care, all the best, and I think I better go now. Bye. See you next week.